with Dr. Leyland. Step into the future, the world is waiting now. Dreams are in the making, we'll show you how. From the books to the screen, from the stage to the stars, level up your game, let's raise the bar. Innovation, inspiration, it's in our DNA. Breaking through the limits, we're paving the way. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Empowered in your passion, your voice will be heard. Building a legacy with every word. From podcasts to pages, from business to art, Level Up's the place where it all can start. With heart and with vision, we're chasing every goal. Together we'll ignite the fire in your soul. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Oh, we're trailblazing, breaking through the mold. Dreams are alive, let your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. So let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll thrive. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Woo! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Level Up Academy by Dr. Leland. I have retired my marketing team tonight, so we will be on our own because I am always adjusting and pivoting. That's just who I am. So anyhow, I did have a couple of you guys requested to be on Instagram rather than on Facebook. So I am going live on Facebook as well. I mean, Instagram as well. And tonight is actually all about ADHD and mental health. So some of you might be going through it. Sometimes we joke around like, oh, I think I have ADHD. But if you haven't been diagnosed, it's kind of hard and it becomes like just a running joke, but it's not really funny. So we're going to talk about the nuances. I am also going to be giving you guys tonight places to get assessment. Obviously, you need a psychiatrist or a psychologist to really get you diagnosed, right, officially, so you can see if it's more of a behavioral that you need, or maybe you need a combination of medicine and cognitive behavior therapy. So we're going to go with a bunch of those conversations today, really in light of Mental Health Month. So Sana and I talk about our ADHD all the time, but now specifically we're going to talk about this tonight. But before we go, I wanted to make sure that you are aware of what Level Up Academy does. I actually have a new niche and target market that I'm going to be providing for you guys. I'm going to have a not weekly, but more like twice a month open house where you can check out what I do and have a conversation. I know some of you actually are complaining that my calendar is now available in January of 2026. So I'm trying to mitigate that by having an open house at least once or maybe twice a month, depending on how busy my projects are going to be. But I am here to provide more information and more services on how I actually got started. Also, coming up is our 50 inspirational connections. And this time we will put, this is our third year doing it. So we are going to be putting a prices on this one, right? It's going to be cash prices that I'll be giving away to really say thank you to not only just having the media and publicity as an authority and legacy maker for you, but really getting you a space where you feel valued, heard, and seen, not just by being part of the Level Up community, but just being yourself. Right. So it's going to come up. We're going to start probably around June. So next month, it's definitely going to be coming soon. So instead of LinkedIn, we're going to be focusing on 50 inspirational connections on social media. So any social media that you are living in terms of that, hopefully you don't say X because I don't have X. So we're talking TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. Those I will be available to take on those information. Okay. And then, of course, um, 50 inspirational connections is going to be followed by Mike to Millions because we are all about podcasting. And I would love to provide more information on how you can actually start your podcast the right way, kind of give you the history of, not necessarily going back of who started podcasts, but more of like, what is the right way to do podcasts in terms of things? Because people always tell me, like, oh, I'm on this podcast and I'm on that podcast. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot, right? But the name of the game of the podcast, so you can monetize, is how many people are possibly listening within that podcast. Does it mean that if they have 30 million people are listening to you, right? It means that at least you have a wide net that you can possibly have listening to you. And I'm going to tell you guys, RSS is number one, okay? Because it's an aggregator. It gives all the information to the rest of the podcast world out there. So the reason why I said RSS, because I researched them. And they have between 75 to 145 million. And each of those, like FeedSpot, only gets 30 million, right? So 74 million is not FeedSpot, but it is RSS giving 30 million to FeedSpot. So things like that needs to be out there for more information on that, right? And I can give you a link so you can actually verify it yourself. If you don't believe me, it's fine. But at least you get it for yourself. Also, Rice Coffee. It is RYZE, right? RiceSuperfoods.com. Constance Leland 15. I think we're about to get more. I think they have like a lot of sale. I'm gonna look it up tonight before the end of the night to see what their sales are, but they're always having a sale. I just ordered my rice coffee, so it should be coming soon as well. I've heard that they have really good chocolate, so I don't know. I haven't done chocolate, and I'm a sucker for dark chocolate for sure. I'm also looking for entrepreneurs who are doing amazing things by leading your people, rising everybody, including yourself, and continuing all your leadership skills into the mentorship industry, or at least domain market of mentoring other people. I continue to mentor mentees out there. Usually students in underserved communities is who I mentor through GMI. So yes, we are going through that. Then of course, Influencing You is a social media platform that I belong to. And basically they are leveling you up through guided information that people are doing, right? It's not like AI or, use ChatGPT here. They'll teach you how to use ChatGPT, but literally for us throughout the years or the course of the years that they've been doing social media, they'll teach you how they went viral. They'll teach you how to gain traction, right? In all aspects of social media. Even I learn from all of these people on the way they do things and also platforms that they use to level them up. Then, of course, I love beauty products, guys. I have a lot actually. I just have a salmon DNA right now that Bieber actually uses. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to use it. But Elixir is the best on Bella Grace because it heals you inside out. So I'm using Elixir, and I'm also using another Elixir that I'm kind of to see alternatively just to see how they work. And I love the ingredients that they're very transparent and they actually research. It's well researched with people that they have seen the difference. And also, inflammation is our number one enemy. As we grow older, the foods that we eat, especially if you have a lot of sugar and carbs, you tend to have inflammation. Your face gets a little puffier, you look a little bit older, you're bloated all the time, your muffin tough, right? Is showing like mine right now. Yeah, sugar. That's what I did because I did French macaroons. So, yes, I am bloated. TMI, but seriously. Also, I love their Korean skincare. I love being like glowy inside. It's my skincare that helps me with that. And of course, a highlighter, right? Doesn't hurt. And I love their lip balm because it gives my lips a little plump. All right, see if we are done. I think we are done. Definitely, we are done on what we are doing for influencing you. So, if we are not done, I probably forgot some sponsor in there. I'm working on a couple right now, guys. I'm so excited. I will be able to invite everyone on a Zoom to actually check out one platform. They're from India, and I've actually vetted them for the last 2 months. I'm slowly using their platform right now, and it's a platform that does everything. The marketing is there. I can put my classes in there and sell it on there, and it's affordable. Like I was so surprised because I've used 7 different platforms in the past and have bought licenses to really put my classes in. I've spent hours and time. Some of them I actually paid a lot of money that I haven't had a chance to actually put my classes because they make it so difficult. I don't like difficult process. I like streamline, quick, because if it's difficult for me, that means it's difficult for my students to learn, and I don't want difficult to learn. Okay. So we're going to bring in Sasana because we're talking about ADHD today before I get out of this conversation. Sister. Okay. So, mental health. What is it like living with ADHD? I know that's a loaded question for us anyway, because there's just so many things that you can talk about that. But I also wanted to make sure that what we say, okay, before we talk, what we say, this is from our experience. We're not saying that this is everyone's ADHD. This is just my experience, and Susana will share her ADHD experience, right? Because we're not going to say, like, oh, this is a blanket policy or this is a blanket conversation that we're going to tell you what ADHD is like for us or for you, right? But this is my first one, okay? So, for years and years and years, people used to say, like, oh, I can't believe you're focused on so much and you're doing so much projects and things like that. Right. And sometimes, though, like when I was younger, I thought I was just bad at focusing. Like I couldn't focus or I wasn't disciplined enough. So I would blame myself for like constantly switching tasks. Like my grandma's like, okay, well, you need to clean the toilet or whatever. And I'm like, sure. And then I switch to like playing outside and then I get in trouble. I'm like, oh, it's just a bad kid thing. But then as I grow older, it gets worse. And then I forget appointments, guys. Even important ones, I forget them if I don't write them. Okay. Even if I write them, I still forget them. So because I forget where I wrote them. And then that's why I have sticky notes everywhere. And then of course, it's like reading 10 tabs at once and finishing none. Like literally. And Susanna actually is worse than me when it comes to tabs. She shared her screen. I'm like, holy cow, close that tab right now. It's making me crazy. She's like, well, if I close them, I forget them. I'm like, you need to forget them right now. It's hilarious. And then, sometimes we hyper focus at like random hours at 2 a.m. or at 6 a.m. And then the next morning we're like, wait, it's 11. How come I can't think anything? What did I do for the last 4 hours? I don't remember. Right. Or sometimes we feel overwhelmed by small everyday tasks. At least that's for me. What about you, sister? What's your ADHD experience?
Yes, because it's all of that. Well, not all of it, because I'm fairly good at remembering the appointments, so I'll take that one. But so much of the other stuff, I'm sitting here just nodding my head. It's like, uh-huh, because and the squirrels. That's probably one of the worst ones, is how easy it is, even when you know that it's happening, to get sucked into, um for me, sometimes it can be the YouTube Shorts, and you just never you're like, "Oh, it's just one. It's just a couple of them. They're short, and a couple of them that's just a couple minutes, and I'll be fine." And the next thing you know, a half hour later, you're kinda like going, "Okay, what happened?" Or you're gonna look something up. You're in the midst of a project, and you need to look something up, and for me, it's like I open the phone and maybe the Amazon screen pops up, and the next thing I know, I've looked at 2 or 3 things on that and forgotten what I was going back for, and so I have to go back where I was, hoping that I could retrace my steps to remember what it was I was leaving in the first place and try and make sure that I stick with it.
The struggle is real. So thank you so much, Lisa. Sister, you need to come back and have a conversation with us because this perimenopause coupled with ADHD is really not good. And I'm really trying to be look. Okay, I had couscous, spicy, it was pre-made spicy something and vegetable and little tiny pieces of chicken, not that much. And it was, what is that vegetable that I like bitter. I don't know why, but sometimes I like bitter vegetables. I have a whole bunch of spinach. I actually went into this, like, I think, was it Danielle? I think Danielle's the one who's like, sister, there's certain foods that you need to eat based on your blood type. So I looked up my blood type. I'm not supposed to eat meat, guys. I don't know what to do. I'm eating meat. I love filet mignon. I love T-bone steak. I love good meat. I'm like, oh. But I don't eat it every day. I would eat fish though, like if I could. I'm from the islands. Like I can't really, hello, like fish is our life. Ah, so I can't just stop. So thank you, Lisa, for coming in. You need to come back to Level Up because we need to talk. Maybe June. Let's have a conversation on food, really, because we need to have a conversation about that. Charles, you also need to come to Level Up. I know you're all the way from Hong Kong, but one of these days we need to like have a chat, like just have a conversation. Maybe we'll have like a table of conversations, like 4 or 5 people. I can have 10 people anyway. What you described just now, Susanna, is exactly what women in the perimenopause and menopause experience. I know. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's really hard for people to focus on the ADHD when perimenopause women have that. Also, I wanted to say hello to Instagram. We have Tahira, Jujivi, Vanessa, Sihaj, Sensible, Sandeep. Hello. Thank you guys so much for coming in on Instagram as well. So we appreciate you. I'm testing. I wanted to also, like, it's not enough that we talked about, like, ADHD and all of this information without giving you context of like, well, how do we actually continue to have this conversation, but not just have a conversation with it, but provide information, right? Like, okay, so you have all of these things, right? And Lisa, can you tell us more also on like what are some other perimenopause things that are similar to ADHD, right? And sister, let me um, actually ask you a question. So, what have you noticed before being diagnosed with ADHD? Like, how were your thought process? You didn't know you had ADHD. What were you thinking? What were you feeling?
Frustration. It's the frustration of all the things that happen and thinking that they're just there's something wrong with me that I can't do these things that I should be able to do. I'm not thinking ADHD. I'm not I'm not thinking anything other than suddenly I've lost time and I can do better than that. It shouldn't be something that I get myself stuck in. Pretty much everything, because I didn't have any idea of neurodiversity on anything. And part of that too is kind of family focused. I mean, it's anything to do with mental health was not going to be a conversation in my family. And because of the first marriage, anything with mental health I stayed away from because I felt like I was always being judged. So it anything to do with it wasn't at the top of my list at all, until a certain Filipina just decided to say, "I think you've got it." And then afterwards, everything made much more sense. Plus, I had two Filipina sisters that are like, "This is what I go, this is what I do, this is what I see, and you're doing the same thing." And I go, "Uh-huh." And but see, one of the other things too, I don't know if you do with it or not, but you can see it's almost like I can never stay still. If my chair is able to move, I am moving it. I'm not I'm not one I can't just stop and stay still, and I will eventually start moving again.
Um, I had a problem with that, I think, growing up with like not sitting still. Um, my grandma used to tell me, like, do you have ants in your pants? Why you're all over the place, right? And they beat it out of you, like Asian way. They literally have a stick and beat it out of you. It took a lot of beating to just stop. I'm just hey, I'm literally telling you the truth. Like it took a lot of beating to stop my fidgeting. And so sometimes even like in the back of my head, that trauma kicks in, and when I fidget, I'm like, wait, I'm gonna get hit. Where's the ruler? Like I sometimes think because there's a ruler and a stick that I get hit if I fidget. So sometimes
I
when I fidget, I'm like, oh, where's the ruler? Is there's no ruler? It's been 20 something years. But yeah.
I don't think I fidgeted for most of my life though. I before everything kind of went downhill at the age of 7, I was one that for pictures people had to put their hands on my shoulder. I just wouldn't stop moving around. And then after that one event, I don't think I really had all that movement. The other stuff, yes, but not moving around. And then after I basically said I'm done with the boxes and just be myself, I feel like I've been moving much more than I used to. I think it's just part of my nature, my ADHD nature.
Yeah, I think for me, it's my brain. Like, and you know what's really weird since I got diagnosed? I feel better, but I don't feel better. I don't know how to explain it. So like there's moments where I know I squirrel out so bad that I even tell myself, like, CJ, stop squirreling out so bad. And then I tell my daughter, I'm like, okay, stop talking. Cause I get overwhelmed because there's only 30 conversations in my head. And literally she's asking is what are we gonna eat? That's literally it. And my brain is basically saying, you need to cook this, and this. She's not even asking me to cook. She literally is asking me, what are we gonna eat? I get overwhelmed. I'm like, stop. And she's like, Mom, stop. Another thing that I've noticed that's really bad for me is time. I don't know about you with time, sister, but I hate being late. I need to be early. And I
Mhm.
hate driving Bella to school in the morning because she likes to roll in and not be on time. And so I have to come, like, drive like a nut job and just so she could be on time. She doesn't care if she's late. I care if she's late, and it drives me insane. And my ADHD is so bad, and I think sometimes I drive myself to my migraine. I think that's literally my issue. And I'm like, okay, how do I control that brain? And so what I do is I start singing, I start humming, I start doing things, and then the problem is if you have a task you forget. Like, what was I doing? I don't remember. And I know that it's important, but I don't remember. And then you're perimenopausing because you're in your almost 50. It's double the trouble. Like, I don't know how to deal with that. That's why I'm like, I need Lisa. I need Lisa to like help me. Hey, Annie, it's been a hot minute since you've been here. Hello, everyone. Hi, Jay. How are you, brother? We're talking about ADHD here. So there are ways I think to definitely do that. But as an entrepreneur, okay, forget that, don't forget, but add to your bowl that you are, a business owner, and um, you have a job, and you have a family, and you have a pet, and everything is already a to-do list, right? And I run on to-do list, guys. I literally run on to-do list. If you're not on my to-do list, I will forget you. And even if you're in my to-do list but I'm like squirreling out somewhere else, I'm like, wait, what was I doing? Like, I wish I could show you. My office has so much sticky notes right now. And so if I'm already done with it, I just take it, and like my husband buys me these, and I think 1,000 already is gone in like 2 weeks, because I have to-do lists on everything. So I have this to-do list. I probably need to take this out, and what else? I'm like, I'm gonna throw this out because I don't need it. I'm probably gonna throw this out because I don't need it. Like, I have a to-do list to help me, right? How do you help yourself, sister?
It's similar. I'm just not as good as putting the lists where I can find them, or I write them in a notebook, and then other stuff will go in the notebook, and it's got so much stuff in there that I start flipping through to try and figure out where it went and which notebook it's in, because I have lots of different notebooks all over the place. And I will put stickies on the desk, but then either whatever else is on the desk, because like my computer tabs, if it's out, I will remember it. If it's not out, if it's covered, I forget. When I worked for my dad, he was so upset because I kept everything out on my desk, and it had to be neat. It had to be clean. It had to be, and he's like, even at the end of the day, just stick it all in the drawer. And I'm thinking, yeah, but then I got to spend so much time trying to go through it and put everything back where it was. Just leave it where it was. Because that way, at least I know where it is. You're muted.
Like, that's like, even in our mess, we can still find everything in it. I did create like a 20 list, guys. Let me look at Instagram really quickly. Sandeep, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in through our Instagram. I see you in there. Okay, Derek, to-do lists are tools, not your master. True. That is the reason why, but it helps me. I don't use it as a master. I use it as a template on framework, especially if you have ADHD, it's really hard not to have anything, because then you lose your train of thoughts a lot, especially I have a lot of projects. But here's my 20 list actually in terms of self-reflection. The first one, the statement I said, I often struggle to stay focused on boring or repetitive tasks. I can't do boring tasks or repetitive tasks. Um, I'll get bored and I won't want to do it. The second thing is my mind constantly jumps from one thought to another. So try this, guys. If you have a conversation with your friend, um, if you don't have any ADHD, it will drive you nuts actually, because you're like, you can't keep up. And I've been told so many times of that, but I can keep up with my conversation. So I can tell if my people have ADHD, because when I jump from one to the other, I don't even try. My brain thought is just that process, and they can keep up, right? And I get easily distracted, especially by sounds, movements, or even my own thoughts. Okay. Stop me anytime, sister, if this is something that you're like, I don't think I've experienced that. Number
So
4,
3 for 3.
I frequently forget appointments, names, or where I place things. I know you're good with appointments, but I think you forget names and where you place things.
I'm like, I think like you, faces are okay, but the
Yeah.
names don't quite. You sit there and it's like, okay, who was that?
Yeah.
And and then it's so easy to lose things too, that I put something down someplace, I thought I knew where it was, and at times it could be there, but something got put over it, and I didn't look under that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I have to remind myself, I'm like, where did I put that? Where? Like right now, I can't find my birth certificate. Literally, guys, I can't find it. So I like my passport. I don't know where they went. They're somewhere in my house. Any fascinating insight into your ADHD? I know this is a really mental health month. So we got to just be open about it. I start projects or tasks with excitement, but struggle to finish them. Yes. Yes. Especially if I have to get a approval on people and they move so slow, or they give me a direction that does not make sense to me. And so what I do is I take that directions and I give it to somebody else, at least three people that I know. And then they tell me, okay, CJ, I don't know what this is, but it doesn't make sense. I'm like, okay, it's not just me. It's not just me. It's this thing. So then I asked the person who gave me that, and I said, hey, can you let me know like exactly what do you mean by this, and this, and then they'll explain it, right? Because sometimes, guys, when we give directions to people, whether they're neurotypical or have ADHD, it doesn't really matter. If you're not clear, and to other people, right? If you're clear because you wrote it in your head, you already answered it. But if the people following your directions don't understand what you're trying to say, then they're not going to follow it. Okay. Um, I procrastinate even when I really want to get something done. Susanna's a pro on this one. Susanna's like, yes, yes, that's totally me. Yes, I agree to that one.
You've seen me in it. It's like, I
Yeah.
want to do this. I just
Yeah, and I push
can't do
you.
it.
I corner you, and I'm like, you have to do it. You have to do it because this is important. Let's see. I often feel mentally restless or like my brain is on all the time. Unfortunately, yes, even when I'm sleeping. The other night, or no, it wasn't last night, the night before, my husband woke me up, just shaking me, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, you're breathing wrong. What is wrong? I was like, oh, I had a nightmare. I was drowning. And he's like, yeah, you sounded like you're gulping for air. I'm like, did anybody die that you know of from a nightmare? And he's like, no, go back to bed. Stop asking this conversation. It's 3 a.m. Like I was literally my brain was like, oh wait, am I gonna die because I'm drowning in my sleep? But then now that I'm awake, like, did you know anybody that died from a nightmare? And he's like, no, it's 3 a.m. We're not having this conversation. So I went back to bed. That was so funny. I talk a lot, sometimes too much, and occasionally interrupt without meaning to. I'm very self-aware on this one. I used to do this a lot, but when I start managing people, I correct myself. I self-correct because I don't like it when others do it to me, so I don't do it to other people. This is more of a behavioral thing. So you can self-correct yourself. So most ADHD people do that. It's not because we want to be rude, guys. To be honest, it's because our brain is uncontrollable and we gotta spit it out, or there's something inside our stomach that just pushes us. And like, I don't know if it's an anger thing or it's not even an anger. It's more like, I'm gonna die if I don't say something. I
Well,
don't
I think part of that is, and my problem is, for so much of my life, I was so withdrawn that that ability was hampered significantly. Otherwise, I know exactly what you're talking about, because part of that, I've got to get this out, is you've got something to contribute. If you don't spit it out now, when it's your turn, you will forget. It will
know.
be gone. And that I get all the time. But the other part is, I just, too often in my early years, it felt like everything I said was wrong. So I stopped talking. And I'm not the one that's going to interrupt. I'm not the one that's going to, until the last couple of years, for some reason, I'm starting to get it.
Ah, hanging out too much with me. That's what happens, guys. Okay, totally. Oh my gosh, because you found your voice, you know. Harsh Rai from Instagram, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Okay, so number 10, I get overwhelmed by too many choices or steps in a task. What about
Bingo. Oh,
She's
yes.
getting right now.
I could sit there and trying to choose. It's like going through a menu half the time. Unless you can walk in and just decide that you're going to take the cheapest thing on the menu, then suddenly you're like, well, I could do this, but I could do that, and I like that, and I want to do that, and I can only do one, and not even thinking the fact that, well, you could do the other one after that, or if it's a restaurant, it's like you can come back to this restaurant later and have that if you want. But then my head comes back with, yeah, but when I come back, if I might think I want that, but maybe I want something else, and then I'll never have this.
Yeah. For me, it's always what I feel hungry right now. Like, I don't have problems with choices. I get actually too, I know my choices often. I'm so sure about what I want to eat. Like, you can't sway me. Even if I'm hungry, no one can sway me what I want. But I do tend to be picky, and I'm trying not to be obnoxious on my order as much as I can, because I know what I want. I've eaten everywhere, and so like I know it can get done. Like creme brulee, I'm a snob in creme brulee. If you don't do it right, I'm like, no. And when I taste, I'm like, no, I'll pay for it, but no. um and I think it's because you only live once. You don't need to be obnoxious with it, though. You don't need to be like demeaning to people. That's your choice. But don't ask for my opinion if you want the truth, because I will tell you. And if you did a good job, I literally will tell you, oh my God, this is so good. And often I give positive, you know, positive vibes to people because they work hard in doing it. But when they're a little bit off, I always like, okay, maybe because I bake and I cook, so I know what I want as far as taste. I don't like too sweet. I don't like too, well, okay, maybe salty. That's why I have inflammation sometimes and retention of water. But anyway, we're not talking about that. I try not to get sodiums as much. I'm Asian. I like soy sauce. Hello. And yeah, low sodium, I guess. We're going with that. But at the same time, I like what I like. And I usually don't get, like, when I get overwhelmed with the menu when it's too much, I always ask myself, okay, CJ, seafood, meat, vegetables, what do you want? And do you want fry, steam, or grilled? That's the option is always three for me. Three is a magic number, right? And I usually like grilled. I don't like fried too much. I don't have any more gallbladder, guys, so I can't really eat fries too much. I'm just saying. I like grilled and steam. But when people tell me you can't eat meat, I was like, see, no, I like my filet mignon. I like my Kobe beef, my Wagyu beef. You can't, I can't. Like, I love those things. Okay, moving on. Number 11, I hyper focus on things that interest me and lose track of time completely. Susanna's bad at this too. Mm-hmm. TikTok, CapCut, YouTube.
Okay, so and your previous example when your friend are like, okay, we got to go on. There,
Yeah.
your squirrel was off.
Yeah. Hyper focus on getting on. Okay, number 13. Wait, number 12. I struggle to follow multi-step instructions or keep track of details. Do you have that issue?
Yeah, it can be hard to follow multiple steps, especially if somebody is trying to tell me how to do something and they just list out a bunch of steps. I'll never be able to keep track of it.
Mm,
It's why sometimes doing some of those video courses, they don't work for me because it's not it's not for me. I don't care how good the person is. If I don't feel like they're really just talking to me, I can't follow it. I can't quite get there. It's like I
So,
said, even uh-huh.
no, so this is why I think when we create our course videos, we want to make sure that we're talking to the people like they're talking to us right now. Like, pause me for a minute, drink a cup of coffee, just go to the bathroom, and then we'll get right back. Mm. Jay says, I'm listening and buying needed items for work. Woohoo! Okay, where are you? Are you on Home Depot? Are you on Lowe's? Okay, I want to know now. Like, where are you? Okay, so hold on. Number 13, I often feel like I'm behind in life even when I'm working hard. Okay. Number 14, I zone out during conversations, even when I care about the person or topic. So there. Yes. Yes. And I feel like my head is YouTube shorts, like 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. You didn't get me through the hook. 30 seconds. What's your point? My husband hates that, by the way. I am like, what's your point? You're going in circles. And it's like, I'm not going in circles. You didn't acknowledge. I keep repeating myself. I'm like, I got it the first time, blah, 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 blah. And I ditch him. He's like, oh, God, I hate your ADHD because I can't ever tell if you're paying attention or you're just blowing me off. And I'm like, what was the point again? Like, seriously, like I do that too. I experience mood swings or strong emotional reactions over small things. Wait, Lisa, isn't this one also perimenopause? I experience mood swings or strong emotional reactions over small things. I feel like I'm pregnant all over again sometimes. I cry or I get upset. I don't remember, by the way, why I was upset. And
Uh-huh.
then I'm still upset and I'm mad. I'd be walking around mad and I'm like, okay, what was I mad again? And I really try hard to stay mad, but I don't know what I was mad for. So I just move on. And you're really like, when I'm angry at that moment, I get angry, la, 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 especially with my daughter when she's doing something. And then like she turns on the music. I'm like, oh my God, this is a vibe. Let's go. And I think that's how she likes my ADHD because I don't stay mad at people. I just kind of move on because I'm like, wait, was I mad again? I don't remember. What were we mad again?
I know exactly what you're talking about. All of that. I've dealt with all of that.
Yeah, I can't. I'm impulsive. I spend money, speak or decide quickly without thinking. How about email? Like you're typing your email and you send it and you're like, oh my God, I forgot the wrong person. Or the spelling error, CJ. Why? Why? Yeah. I get bored easily and always crave novelty or excitement. That is really hard for me. And this is why I jump off airplanes. I do longest zip line in Asia, bungee jumping in the bridge. I do crazy things like that. Ride helicopter, air balloon, um, to get that crap on my body, and I still doesn't like. I'm wanting more. Like what else is next, right? And this is why I do projects a lot because that keeps my nonsense at bay. Like that's what I call my nonsense at bay. Like no one understands but me, but I'm like, okay, I got to get a hold of myself, and so that's how I do it. I get bored. Wait, I frequently feel anxious or ashamed about being disorganized. I'm actually not disorganized. What I'm embarrassed is the mess that I have in my office right now. Like if you look at my office, is really messy, guys. So I'll be
That's what it is. It's that mess. But everybody else has us thinking we're disorganized when we know where everything is at. It's just a mess.
Oh, Jay says, I need to interact with people. I can't do onboarding via recorded videos. So true, especially if you're new and you're like, wait, what? What was I supposed to do? Oh, okay. Good job, Jay. Yes. Hello, sister. How are you, Dr. New? We miss you. Mark, hello. What's up? How you doing? Right? Yes. Okay. So then the 19th, I rely on last minute pressures or chaos to get things done. This is Susanna to the T. That's why I put that in there. I literally like, you're in your last hour. She's like, oh, fine. I'll sleep 3 hours. I get it done. She
Yeah,
does that. So that's why I love her.
that's what I did with my chapter, right? I got it done and I got 5,000 words done in 10 hours.
There you go.
Okay, so it was like 8:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., but it got done.
Pulling a CJ. The last one is I've been told I'm too sensitive, lazy, or not living up to my potential. At one point or another, I definitely was told all of those. I am too sensitive, and I used to say like, "Oh, because I'm Filipino." We Filipinos are very sensitive, like to what you're gonna say. I get hurt by words, guys, like easily, and I try not to take it personal. But if you say it in my face, then I take it personal, but I try to have like a thicker skin. It's just really hard for me sometimes and I live in my head, right? I usually don't care if other people tell me, especially if I don't know them, but the people around me and the people who are closest to me, I get hurt easily if they say things that is not ideal, right?
Well,
And yeah,
we know I have that because you are on the listening side of me going through all of that at the beginning of the year.
yeah. Yeah. Not living up to my potential. I get told that too. Like, oh, you could make a lot of money and instead you're wasting time teaching. Like, I get told that a lot. Um, but no one understand me the way I understand me. So I just went from ear to the other ear. But because we're talking about mental health, we're also talking about, fun and giggles here with Susanna and I, but this is the truth of our lives, right? We want to help you if you're listening to us about if you have ADHD, especially for women, because we don't get diagnosed. Um, I'm gonna see if I can actually type it in. But sister, can you walk us through how you got diagnosed and what tests?
Oh, you just muted yourself.
Yeah, because I
That
asked you a question. What test did you take and how did you get diagnosed?
oh, I couldn't remember. This is my ADHD. It's like I don't remember what the test was. I'd have to go back and look something up to figure that one out. Um, when I got the diagnosis, first off, you after you mentioned it, I know I did a couple of things online just to get a feel for where I sat, and everything was pointing me in that direction. Then what I did was reached out to my doctor actually to see if she knew somebody, because I had tried one person and this person was basically saying, "Oh, it doesn't sound like you have it," and they were supposed to be a professional at figuring this out. Then I then you and I talked some more. I sent a message to my doc. She gave me some people to check out, so I made the appointment. And the beautiful thing about that appointment was this person wanted somebody else to be there who could basically verify things that I did or didn't do. And so there was only one choice. And it was a good thing too, because I swear there were probably 3 or 4 times where you stepped in. It's like, okay, wait a minute. She does this, she does this, she does this, she does this. Because I'm not thinking it. And that's part of the problem too. When you're going into these kinds of appointments, is especially with ADHD, you may not be able to think of all these answers. They may not just pop up like they might for other people. Because you know me, sometimes I can't quite make things up. I can't quite um, come up with an answer yet either for questions that should be really simple to answer. It comes in one ear and I just look at it, it just rattles around in there for too long until something happens.
Yeah. I've added a couple of things here, guys. Okay. This one, https://add.org.adhd test. Check them out and see if that's something that you can do. They actually, let me look at, they actually developed by the World Health Organization, the WHO, and it's available and it's actually free. Okay. This is the ADA, Adult ADHD Self Screening Tool, ASRS version 1.1. So that is the one that I showed you guys. This one is called the Chad. I know I hate that name. I'm sorry. If your name is Chad, I apologize. Chad. Like, oh God, I don't know why. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry if your name is Chad. But children and adults with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder offers helpful tools and symptoms overview. So this is for kids. If you have kids that you are thinking you might need a symptom checklist, that actually is chad.org. Psychology Today online ADHD quiz. This one. Okay. And then also, I have this done first. This is actually, let me see if I can see. This is online services with licensed providers. Okay. It's all fun and games, but really, if you really think that you have it, then you should maybe think about getting it done. And you're probably thinking, well, I don't care if I get it done. This is just my personal opinion, okay? And Susanna can tell hers why it's important for you to have a unofficial diagnosis versus just living your life without knowing it. When you want to tame an animal, right? You want to know what kind of animal you're taming. If you want to that's what I was telling Susanna. Like, it doesn't really matter how beautiful the tool is, right? If it doesn't have anything that can start it, doesn't work, right? So all of these things can be a tool, but if you don't work at how to get to know yourself better, it actually is more of a self-actualization journey, so that whatever trauma you have in your life and whatever that's you're going through, like, it doesn't matter what race you are, what age you are. Well, it does matter what age you are, because if you're perimenopausing and you have ADHD, it is crazy. And when you think about the men too, like, oh my god, he has midlife crisis, he has a new girlfriend even though he's married, and he bought a Ferrari, like, he used Ford all the time. Like, what is happening with this guy? He's going crazy. And we just label it at that. And actually, maybe he has midlife crisis, but maybe it wasn't a midlife crisis. Maybe he's on andropause and also have ADHD undiagnosed. Men can also have ADHD. Hello, and we're just talking about women. But when you think about like the women, oh my God, she's going through this body thing where she's doing all her surgery and she's 50, she's not dressed appropriately and all these things. Like, maybe she's going to perimenopause and she has ADHD. Like, stop judging people, right? Instead, focus on yourself and what you need for yourself, right? So long as you're not hurting anybody out there and you're having fun what you're doing, by all means, go for it. Now, for you, sister, why it's important for you to know um, that you have ADHD versus not knowing?
The first thing is, it makes sense of all the problems that I look at my past and all the things that I feel like I missed or screwed up or whatever, that now there's a reason for it. Another thing is, because I talk about moving beyond boxes all the time, and you're the one that kind of took this approach. As much as I don't like boxes and labels and all that, there are times that you have to know what the box is that you're stuck in, so you have an idea as to how to get out of it. So if you know that you have ADHD, then it's easier to accept and take the steps to move beyond it, to let yourself be aware of, maybe I just need to not turn on YouTube for the day so I make sure I do stuff, or that I only allow myself to look at the phone for just only have the DMs, the text messaging open, and not go anywhere else on the phone, because it will take me down a rabbit hole I'm trying to avoid that will suck time out of my day. So if you know that it's there, then you can actually, to take steps. If you don't know that you have it, then you start going, oh, it's just free will. You just have to will it. It will happen. If you didn't make it today, then you just do it again tomorrow, and you make your will stronger, and that will work. And the reality is, that won't work. If you've got it, then it doesn't. If it didn't take anything to get you going down the rabbit hole today, it's going to be the same thing tomorrow, because you're just thinking you're normal. You just have to will it because that's what people say, but it doesn't work that way. And
What's normal anyway? Honestly, what does normal look like? I'm like, I don't understand. Like, it's not normal. Okay, well, what the frick is normal? Like, what's normal to you is not normal to me, and it's not normal to Susanna.
exactly.
So I'm like, whatever that looks like, right?
But that's
I
what I hear from people too. The people that know us, they just, depending on what you're like. For me, it's my dad, especially. No, it's like nothing is normal. I'm not normal. It's like, it's his perspective, but I can't fit that box anymore.
Yeah, nothing. Well, here's the thing. What's normal For others, are you going to let others think that that's normal, therefore you need to fit in that box because that's normal? Like, but you want to live your life all the way to your deathbed, living the normal life, whatever that means, right? But if you have ADHD, it's going to be so hard for you and you're always going to struggle. And some women that have ADHD also struggle with self confidence because they keep doubting themselves that they're not good enough because their life is a mess and they can't get a hold of anything, right? Because if you have ADHD, it's really, we internalize everything. So that's why I'm going to talk about coping skills here. The first one is externalizing everything. Don't keep it in your head. Okay. Use sticky notes, whiteboards, checklists, alarms, planners, or apps. Notion is a really good app or Todoist. Um, if it's not visible, it might as well not exist, especially if you have ADHD. It's really hard, right? You have to be visible. The other one is a body double technique. Somebody needs a body double soon. I'm not gonna name who. Yeah. We're gonna need a buddy double soon. We're buddy doubling because I'm gonna keep a rein on somebody that doesn't go on cup cut for 4 hours a day. Just saying, not gonna name names. Work with a bestie or someone, even virtually, guys. Okay, you don't need to talk. Even you just listen to music, or just having someone there helps you focus and stay accountable. Like we call it the Zoom co-working, right? With in ADHD magic. Another thing is timers. I keep saying pomodoro, pomodoro, pomodoro. It's good because if you have ADHD, you can't sit still for a long time. So even if you're like, I'm gonna focus on this for 2 hours, it's not happening. I'm just telling you that right now. So unless you have mad skills that you've worked on it for a while, then yes, it will work because I know it works for me if I'm really focused, right? But okay, full disclosure, in order for me to focus for at least 2 to 3 hours, even 4 hours on my butt sitting here, I have to have a movie. Netflix, whatever, Prime Video, it has to be on because I need that noise and focus and movie, and then I can focus on my work all day because the
Mhm.
excitement of the drama of the movie gets me like I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh wow, okay, oh okay, I get so productive. That's my body double is my movie. Another thing is visual routines. You need morning, evening routine chart if you have to, or colors. I love highlighting. Highlights. I've been taking my husband's highlight actually. I'm highlighting everything because ADHD brain loves patterns. To be honest with you, right? We hate remembering them, by the way. So we hate remembering them, but we automate our life one habit at a time. Okay, one habit at a time, and then break big tasks into micro steps because you're going to overwhelm yourself. And that's what I always tell Susanna, like, okay, we got this, but let's work on this, and let's work on that, and let's work on this, and then by the time you know it, wow, you got the whole thing right done. That's what you need. Like, for example, for me to clean the house, I really need to pick up my trash, which I do very well. The problem is I have too much of everything, like too much of everything. um Also, another thing is like my laundry. I bought this new laundry detergent from Bath and Body Works. It smells so good, guys. They sell those laundry, right? And then I forget my laundry. I even forgot that I had a laundry until my husband's like, hey, what happened to my shirt? I'm like, huh, what shirt? He's like, the work shirt. I'm like, yeah, I'll get it ready for you. And I looked at him like, oh my God, I forgot. So now I have to triple laundry it because so that it doesn't have any weird after wet smell. Ugh. So then I have to laundry it 3 times in hot, in cold, in warm, and then put it on the dryer. And then this time I put my alarm, pick up the laundry. So even if it's 2 in the morning, if I need to finish my laundry, I will pick it up and then put it on the dryer. I'm like, and then when I'm um at night, my husband has a tendency to open the garage and leave it open. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I would check it, right? And I would be laying in bed. And then in the back of my head, CJ, did you check it? I know I did check it, but then I have this doubt. So I have to go back downstairs to check it. And then I'm halfway through my bedroom. And then I think, wait, did I lock it? So then I go back again and check it. God. Guys, it's really annoying. It's really annoying. Also, I annoy my husband with this when we go out in public and he drives, right? And then I'm like, "Did you lock the car?" He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I didn't hear it. And he's like, oh. So he locks the car. We're inside the store or the restaurant. I don't remember you locking the car. Did you lock the car? So he gives me the key. Listen, you want to double check? Here's the key. Go to the parking lot. So I would walk out and lock the car because I don't know why, but my head needs that three, number three. The thing is, move your body daily. If you have this ADHD, it feels weird, like in your body. It's like a tension feeling. I don't know how to explain it. And you're just bouncing and bouncing, and you're like, whoo, I can feel my body and my ADHD just revving, and it won't stop, right? So then I just walk out and walk in circles, and then I literally walk with Cheerio because Cheerio doesn't want to walk. I really don't want to get sweaty, so I walk with Cheerio, okay? Because I can't keep up with Dukas. Dukas is fast, and Athena is even faster. And then also try to simplify your space as much as you can. It's really hard when you have ADHD, to be honest with you. And I use rewards like a boss. Yeah, I reward myself like a boss, especially if I have a big project and I'm done. I'm like, oh yeah, I answered those 3 emails that I didn't answer for the last 2 weeks. Oh yeah, I need a cup of coffee, right? I'm not saying big buy things or anything like that, like simple things. Um, I also walk through verbal processing. So I talk to myself like I'm a third person. It's kind of weird. So long as I don't for myself, I think I'm okay, right, sister?
That's not weird. I've been basically alone for the last 5 years, and I'm always having a conversation with myself.
Oh my gosh. And then I create a go bag or stations where I designate zone for like bags. And I went to Disneyland. I forgot to tell you this. So in Disneyland, before you go in to get your ticket, they have a checkpoint to check your bags. And the guy opens my bag and he's like, and because I have a bag in a bag within the bag. And he's like, there's a lot of bags in this bag. And I'm like, oh, it's makeup. And that bag is lipstick. And then that bag in the bag is a lip gloss. And then that bag is a lip liner. And he's like, you're good. Like, he didn't even look. And I had like 7 compartments. He's like, I'm sure it's a bag of a bag. Let's just go. And my husband's like, I live with her. Yeah, that's a bag in a bag in there. I get issues, guys. Like, I get a lot of issues. I also do a 2-minute rule. I don't know if you take this, if you do this, sister. It takes like it. Okay, if it takes less than 2 minutes, I just do it now. Or if it takes less than 15 minutes, I just do it now because I get overwhelmed when I have to do something and I could have done it um 15 minutes ago. And I know you probably don't do this because you're like, oh, I'll just do it later, and then you forget it. So that's why I keep telling you, like, get into a habit. If you can do it now, do it now. Don't put it out, right?
But for some of that stuff, I do it, and so and the part of the problem is I might think it's only going to take me a couple of minutes, and then 5-10 minutes later, I might push send.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think if you think that it's going to take you longer, then you put it out more, right? Instead of taking care of it now. So for you, if you have ADHD, try to chip it away slowly rather than do it in a bulk. But I know myself so much that sometimes I work under pressure faster. um, than taking a long time. I really do. And probably some of you were like, well, no, you're not going to have good results. My results is flawless, to be honest with you, because I put so much pressure to make it perfect, triple check, because I have an issue with checking. So I keep checking it. And then I'm like, okay, there's room for improvement, but I gotta stop because then you get into the analysis by paralysis, and then your brain rejects it. And even if you try so hard, I have to do this, but your brain rejects, like, you're not doing it because this is dumb. You don't get it done, right? So there's so many things that we can do, but also the hard part of ADHD is that it comes with depression and anxiety. It just does. Sometimes the San Diego is very beautiful. It's sunny, except lately it's been rainy. But most of the time it's beautiful. We don't even really have true winter. We don't have snow. The sun could be out, so beautiful. The wind, like touch my face, the sun's kissing my face, and it just glistens and it's so beautiful, but I'm freaking sad. And then you ask like CJ, you got everything. What else do you need? I couldn't answer it. Like I couldn't answer you,
I get it. All
right?
that. You just never know. And that thing is, you just never know what it's gonna hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Okay, so there's more on Instagram. So let's see. Blunia, thank you. 1211, thank you for coming. Asel Lover, Manish Kumar, and Shakruk Shish. Thank you so much for coming into our Instagram. I appreciate you. I know it is 8:04, but Susanna and I we just keep going in this conversation if we don't stop now. Sister, do you have any advice for somebody who is thinking they might have ADHD, but they don't really care to be diagnosed? Like, can you give like an advice or a statement?
If you really don't want the diagnosis, then you better just start planning like you got it. Because if you don't, then everything that's bothering you right now about whatever it is that you're doing, it's not going to go away. It makes it a whole lot easier if you've got the diagnosis that says yes you are, then it makes it so much easier to let go of all the stuff in the past that's it's like now you understand, you can let it go because you didn't have any, it wasn't your fault, and right now you can start taking active steps to get beyond whatever the ADHD is doing to hold you back, whatever, because no two people have the same ADHD. There's going to be lots of overlap, but it's not going to be the same for everybody. So just get it checked.
Here's my statement, my last statement for you. If you're listening to this as a team replay, or if you're listening right now, walking around looking for tools, you are not broken. Okay, you are not lazy. You are not unmotivated. You are not careless. You just have a brain that operates on interest, urgency, and novelty. Okay, not routine or pressure. That's not broken. That's just different. You're different. It's okay to be different. And stop using neurotypical tools to solve a neurodivergent problem. Instead, embrace the chaos, then build systems around it. Because what is chaotic for some, it might be normal for you, and that's okay. Design your life for it, whatever that means. Okay. Medication and therapy aren't the weakness, they're tools. I am, full disclosure, not taking any medication. I am doing therapy, and I also do cognitive behavior. I got licensed practitioner coach actually in that one because I like to improve myself, right? You don't need to be everything to everyone. Be there for yourself. You're allowed to rest even if your to-do list and your brain don't allow you. Okay? That list is never done. ADHD brain, guys, gets burn a lot of energy just existing. So rest is part of your productivity cycle, not the opposite of it. And you will lose things, you'll forget things. It's okay. You might forget your birthday too sometimes or miss a deadline, but you might double or book it or get overwhelmed, but forgive yourself faster, okay? Build the habits yet, but always make room for grace. You deserve it. Comparison will kill your confidence, so please don't compare yourself. Stop comparing yourself to people with totally different brains. That 5 step morning routine influencer that people are like, oh my God, in order for you to go viral, in order for you to be skinny, you got to do that. Like that works for them. Just when I give those application, it might work for me, but it might not work for you. Take it like that. Okay. Not your lane. Build your rhythm. Honor your wins. Small. Some people might think it's insignificant, but like literally, I drink water today. Woohoo! I usually get dehydrated. Like that's my win. Okay. and advocate for yourself, even if your voice shakes. Who cares? Whether it's in school or work or relationship or the doctor's office, you have the right to ask for what you need. You don't have to be rude about it, okay? But speak up. Speak boldly. You're not asking for special treatment. You're asking for equal footing, okay? And if you get depressed, it's part of that. It's okay. Find something that you like. Athena over here. I call her my Athena. I have an Athena too. But she likes the owl. She likes the wolf, right? Things like that will help you. So thank you guys so much for watching us. We went a little bit over. I usually don't, but I thought this was really important discussion, because a lot of women might think that they're just broken and they can't be fixed. And some women have deviancy. I'm just gonna say that because they have really low self-esteem and they think to get that intensity, to get that high, you need this thing. You actually don't. And also people pleasing is highly involved in ADHD. We people please all the time. Create boundaries for yourself. Have a little bit of respect for yourself, that you're made for a purpose and you're made for goodness, right? I don't care how much bad things you did in your life. It's part of the experience. Doesn't mean you can't change. There are things that you cannot change, like your core. Sometimes you just can't change. But what you can change is the habit and the bad habits that you have. But always be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and be an inspiration to yourself and to others. Right? Right, sister?
Exactly.
Good
Couldn't say
night,
it
everybody.
better.
See ya. Bye.
Are you a curious student, eager to learn new skills and make your mark in the world? Or are you a professional seeking to advance your career and unlock your full potential? You need to be equipped with effective soft skills like communication, problem solving, teamwork, and more. The Level Up Academy by Doc Leland bridges the gap between education and employment through transferable skills training. Get the soft skills you need to be more effective at work.